Welcome back. It is Friday, April 14th in the MLB. Our three favorite picks are on the way. I'm Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. Logan, yet another wonderful call. Reds and Phillies over 4.5, first five. A no sweat bet. Mine was so close to getting that 2-0 sweep. The Padres and Brewers over 8.5. The Padres could not score in the bottom of the 10th to push them to another inning and get us that 2-0 sweep. But either way, we're going to keep going in. We've been on a really, really good start to the year. Let's keep that going today. If you are new, hit that subscribe button down below. We do have a Bet365 offer today. You can get $200 worth in bonus bets on Friday's NBA, MLB, NHL slate. All you got to do is bet $1 money line on any team, and with Bet365, and you'll take advantage of that. You could check out all the details down below. You sign up using the first link in the description. You deposit $10, and like I said, make a money line bet on any team for just $1. It's available in New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and Colorado. And speaking of dimers, I think today's parlay, we're going to do a giveaway regardless of if it hits, but I'll talk about that on Twitter. If you aren't following us, go follow us at Calling Our Shot. Now, Logan, got to be honest, you're on a heater. 9-2 in your last 11 picks. You've been hot. What are you going to be hot going into the weekend? What you got for the people today?
Yeah, I'm going to the Rays versus Blue Jays game, and I'm taking the under 9.5 total runs in this one. Minus 120 odds on DraftKings is your best value there. Hopefully we can continue that hot streak, as you mentioned, because it's been a really good start to the season. And now, depending on what your book has, some books might have 9, some books might not have 9.5. I just went with the 9.5 hook. I don't hate it at 9 as well if that's where you're going to end up playing it, but you make that call if you want to pay just a little bit more juice for it not to push at 9. Now, I know this can be risky. It can be really risky taking an under with the Rays. They made me pay once before, and you know what? This time I'm back for revenge, Rays. I'm sorry. I'm standing in front of the buzzsaw. My very strong pick and gut reaction to this game was Blue Jays money line, but I feel like the under is actually the safer play because I don't really see a world in which this game goes over and the Blue Jays win. That's just my personal opinion, and that's what I think the game flow will dictate today. So, who's starting for the Blue Jays today? Yeah, it's nasty pitcher, right? Jose Barrios, a nasty starter. 2 starts, Barrios walking an 11.17 ERA, 1.86 WHIP. Yeah, I mean, obviously those numbers aren't great. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but a double-digit ERA is due some obvious regression, right? I'd be shocked if he's maintains anything close to that on the year. Probably drop down to 5, maybe 6. But I like that I'm not seeing 3+ walks in either start or multiple home runs allowed for Jose Barrios on this year, right? Because those are really where the innings can get dangerous, right? If he's just putting on free base runners and then allowing it, hits via home runs, like that's just not going to cut it today. And no Tampa Bay hitter has a career home run off Barrios. That's where a lot of the Rays damage was done the last time I picked an under. It was like a Caprillion home run derby. It was just insane. I think they actually got a grand slam in that game. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure they did. But I'm like, that's at the end of the day, that's what the Rays will try to do, and that's where the real damage could come. So if he limits the long ball in this one, I do like our chances. The Tampa Bay hitters versus Barrios, some of them don't have great splits, right? Brandon Lau, 0 for 5. Yandy Diaz, 2 for 9. And Randy Arozarena, 4 for 8. He's got good splits versus him. But this top of the order has just been hitting the ball ridiculous. Like this Rays team being, undefeated like they are just absolutely getting every single base hit to fall. They just stick out their bat, and it goes to in the gap. I watched some of that Red Sox game yesterday. I was just laughing at the way they were getting hits and runs. It was just crazy. The Red Sox relievers were so pissed off. They're like, how are they still getting hits? I think Barrios actually today has a sneaky good showing. His earned run line opened up at 2.5, and the books have to expect a decent showing from him, right? They're pretty sharp on those prop lines, and I just would be really surprised if there's just like, yep, here's free money, here's 5 earned runs from Barrios. I just don't see that today. And the other side, I really do like this pitcher, Drew Rasmussen, starting for the Rays, 0.00 ERA. Love to see that, and 0.23 WHIP in 2 games. Really, really solid WHIP. That's a ridiculously low ERA as well. And Toronto, such a streaky offense. I have no problem taking an under with this team. We saw what they just did last night. And anybody have Blue Jays, right? That's why you don't bet on the Blue Jays. They're just such an up and down, streaky team. Scored 1 run against Turnbull and the Tigers yesterday. That's nasty at home, right? Toronto hitters versus Rasmussen, they also don't have great splits, right? Guerrero Jr.'s decent splits, 5 for 17. Bo Bichette only 3 for 17. Chapman and Springer 1 for 10 versus Rasmussen. So if they're not getting, super consistent production from that top half of the lineup, I don't see where the runs are going to come consistently in this game. And then at the end of the game, Tampa Bay 3rd in bullpen ERA, Toronto 8th in bullpen ERA. If neither starter gets rocked, which, you know what, I'm optimistic about that, the bullpen should be able to keep us under this total. And I think the under's the move. If you want to get really spicy with it and try to fade the Rays on the money line, go for it. I'm just not feeling that spicy this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and take the under in this one. But Austin, back with the player props. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, Logan, I mean, you would have got a ton of comments if you took the Blue Jays money line. People would have hated that. And I don't hate it. I mean, at the end of the day, you've been doing really well on the line reading picks. And I think this is a good one. They got, like you said, that Barrios line at 2.5 earned runs. You're going to see so many people hammering the over. He's due a good start. Now, he's an MLB pitcher. He's got to have at least one decent start. We've seen guys like Patrick Corbin go out there and throw, 7 innings scoreless before. Anything's possible. You're an MLB pitcher. You made it to the MLB. Yeah, at least have some decent stuff. So I'll be rooting for you. Hopefully that under 9.5 hits, and you can go away with walking away with some winning money. But today I'm going to a player prop. I'm going to a guy that you've probably heard of because his name is Shohei Ohtani. And I'm taking his over 1.5 bases, currently plus 100 on DraftKings. Now, if people are on FanDuel, they have this identical bet listed as 2+ bases. That's the same exact thing. Now, notoriously, FanDuel is a book that juices these base props. So that's why I say you got to sign up for DraftKings. It's a pretty good one. We have obviously our sign up options there. And then Bet365, another really good book that I talked about at the top of the show, that has very much better odds than FanDuel does. But I'd play this about to -125. Now, Ohtani is in a game with a high over-under at 9.5. That's what I like to target, those high over-unders. And while I'm not saying that they're going to hit the over today, what I do like to see is that at least the books are expecting some runs, or at least some base runners and some opportunities to score runs. And hopefully the Angels are at least getting some base runners. And I can see Ohtani get more plate appearances. So if we see this game and the Angels put up some runs, we're likely going to see Ohtani probably get close to 5 plate appearances. And that would be awesome. All you can ask for is a player comes up enough. And if you can't get it done, oh well, it's a baseball. You're just going to have up and downs, hot swings, cold streaks. It's going to happen. But we see Ohtani last 10 games, been pretty consistent, hitting 297, did get a day off, and the Angels had a day off. So he's actually had 2 days off. But in those games, 11 hits, 5 extra base hits, 2+ bases in 5 of 10 games. So look, Ohtani's going to bat in the 3 slot. So like I said, if they get some base runners in this game, they're going to probably get him up to 5 plate appearances, and he's going to face Tanner Houck. Now, Houck is all right. He's allowed a 304 batting average versus left-handed batters. Ohtani is a lefty. Actually has much better splits against righties. So that's kind of why I wanted Ohtani here. And we've seen, in these 25 plate appearances versus lefties, he's given up 3 extra base hits, including a couple of home runs. So Ohtani, right field is not very far in Fenway Park. So I think Ohtani could hit a homer. I think that was like plus 360 on FanDuel. But we also want to look at the pitches that he's going to see. 30% slider, 24% four-seam fastball, and 21% sinker. We've seen Ohtani have decent splits. I got to remind people this is from 2022, but more or less, Ohtani probably hasn't changed a lot of his hitting stances, but in 2022, he hit 245 versus the slider, 310 versus the four-seamer, and 281 versus sinker. So all pretty good splits. Last season, we saw Ohtani record an extra base hit on 11.4% of his plate appearances versus right-handed batters. Didn't have as much, success with the home run ball, but he had a lot of doubles and triples in there, and that's just compared to an 8.7% extra base, percentage against left-handed pitchers. So we know Fenway Park is a hitter-friendly ballpark, and we know if Tanner's not probably going to go too far into this game, and that Red Sox bullpen is nasty. So if maybe Ohtani's 0 for 2 against Tanner, and it's like, not looking great, trust me, there's going to be run opportunities late. The Boston Red Sox bullpen, not all too good. So we'll have some chances. Hopefully he can put one into the bleachers, but we know Ohtani's fast enough to turn, easily get a double, maybe a ground rule double, or he can do whatever he wants. He's had good success in Fenway Park, hitting 317 in 10 games there with 5 extra base hits, including 2 homers in Fenway in his career. Hopefully he can get another homer, make that 3. We'll ride with Ohtani for 2+ bases. I think he has a big night. We'll ride with him. But Logan, I believe you know what time it is. The music is starting. It's Nerfy Nation time. Yesterday we had the day off just because we didn't like one. You did have a pretty good call in the Tigers and Blue Jays game. That was a Nerfy. But we'll move on to one today that we really do like, and this is going to be a late night sweat for us because we're going to Mets and Athletics and taking the no-run first inning, -118 on FanDuel. Now, as a reminder, this is the under 0.5 runs in the first inning. If you want to bet the tie, you want to be Tie Nation, feel free to go for it. I think the odds were about -130, so the difference was -118 to -130. We'd rather just not lay that much juice, but obviously a tie can hit if it's 1-1 or 2-2 or 3-3. But either way, let's talk about this one, and we're going to have a late night stream. We're talking 9:30 p.m. Hopefully this will tuck us in and have us have a good night. But let's talk about James Caprelli, and he's going to start for the Oakland Athletics. And look, this is the line in the sand, buddy. You're 0-2 on no one first innings. You sold us before. You sold us on Logan's Rays or A's pick and the other a couple of games ago. We need you to step up, man. Kaprielian's a better than an 0-2 pitcher. He's better than his, 11 double-digit ERA. He's better than that. And the Mets offense has really struggled this season. 25th in first inning runs. They're tied for third worst batting average this season. So, look, I'll take my chances. Kaprielian is a good enough pitcher to get these Mets guys out. He's also due a pretty decent start. Wouldn't be surprised if the A's cover the +1.5 tonight. It's a lower over-under at like 7.5 or 8. So, Kaprielian, I need you to get those first 3 outs. We need those badly. But who's pitching for the Mets today, Logan?
Yeah, we've got Kodai Senga going for the Mets today, and I hope he can get us those last 3 outs we need. Senga, 1-1 on Nerfies this season, so I mean, pretty decent, good enough. I mean, he's making his first year and full year in the majors. So we don't have a huge sample size, but what we do know is Oakland tied for 28th in first inning runs at home. Look, guys, we made a lot of money taking Oakland A's home game no-run first innings because it was just what they did. It's a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. Oakland also 5th worst in batting average this year. Over-under, as Austin mentioned, set to around that 8 range, which we like to pick these at. At the end of the day, look, these are just two of the offenses that just really haven't hit their stride. I don't know if Oakland ever will hit their stride. The Mets, this is a different year. They're starting out a little bit slower. So I think this one actually is the best one on the slate. Guys, the slate is really tough for no-run first innings. There's a lot of games in the 9.5 range. And those can get dicey to not have any of those runs scored in the first. But I do like our chances, and Austin and I are going to be staying up late, East Coast time, and hopefully staying up late flying these flags.
Hey, that's what it's all about. So hopefully we can fly these flags late at night. Hopefully you can join us for our daily live stream. It will probably be our last one until Monday. But hopefully we can see you guys out here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Logan and I will be live, hopefully sweating out a no-run first inning cash, waving the flags. But a reminder, you can sign up for Bet365. All the details down below in the top of the description. Also check out our parlay of the day, which we'll do a giveaway if it hits, and we might do a giveaway if it loses anyways. We love you guys. Have a great Friday night. We'll see you guys back again in that live stream, and then we'll see you guys again Saturday morning. See you guys then. Peace out.